So one of the guys that we'd really love to have, if we got the cap, is Davante Adams. ESPN came out with their list of the best free agents and who should pick them up. Number one on the list, Davante Adams, which makes perfect sense coming out of Green Bay.
Number one, the number one free agent.
Number one free agent. Obviously, we all know the story. He played with Derek Carr in Fresno State. They're both still very close. They both would still love to play with each other. Not in a weird way, you sickos. In football.
Look, we don't know.
Hey, if wherever gets him to Las Vegas.
Dude, if he comes to Vegas, I don't give a fuck what they do.
If Davante Adams is like, I'm going to go to Vegas and I'll do it for $10 million, but I get to give a hand job to Derek Carr once a week, I will be there with a shotgun in my hand watching to make sure that Davante Adams and Derek Carr are playing together exactly how his contract demands, right?
He gets his manual release.
Whatever it takes. This just feels that I want to come out here and be optimistic and think of how awesome it would be. He's exactly what we need, right? We need a dominant, good, veteran X-wide receiver. He's literally what we need the most on our offense right now is a guy like Davante Adams. The synergy's already there with Derek Carr.
Literally.
They both want to be there. I posted the video on our YouTube last week, earlier in the week, about how Davante Adams literally bought a house in Oakland after his last contract with Green Bay and was like practicing with Derek Carr. He thought for sure he was going to be an Oakland Raider, right? And didn't pan out.
Yep.
Green Bay eventually, stepped up, gave him his big contract, and here we are. So I want to be Mr. Optimistic and just like have this wet dream with you about Davante Adams playing for the Raiders. I just don't see it. I just don't see the Raiders paying this much, even a $40 million Derek Carr or a $20 million Derek Carr. I just don't see the Raiders forking over that kind of dough for a Davante Adams that's already in his 30s. Not that the value isn't there. It just feels so un-Raider-like to me.
Well,
convince me I'm wrong, please.
The difference is this is a new regime, and they're willing to pay. They're willing to pay for elite talent.
Do we know that for sure?
Well, Bill Belichick has been willing to pay for elite talent. Now, he doesn't do it often, but when you're like the guy in your position, when you're like the guy and you're a game changer, which Davante Adams is, he's willing to pay you. And he's willing to pay you top dollar, but you have to be that guy. Davante Adams is that guy.
How many guys has Belichick like that paid over the last few years? Like how many free agents are like the number one dudes at their position that he paid? I can't think of many. Randy Moss a long time ago.
Randy Moss, he did.
He really doesn't do that often.
He doesn't do, but the thing is when he has. That's the thing is William McGinnis, he paid a lot back in the day. His last contract before he shipped him off to Cleveland. That was like the first run. Gronk, he paid a lot of money to before he wanted to ship him off to Detroit.
But he was homegrown. So it's a little, it's a little different, right?
He still paid him a shit ton. He was still the highest paid tight end by a lot.
My point is, it's not many. Like it's not standard operating procedure.
Yeah, but the thing is, first let me start with this. If Aaron Rodgers comes back to Green Bay, they're not going to have enough money. Even if they wanted to franchise Davante Adams, they're not going to have enough money because Aaron Rodgers is going to make $46 million.
They will. They'll make it work. Guaranteed.
Okay.
That's why that's the main reason why I don't think he's coming to the Raiders is I don't think Aaron Rodgers is leaving Green Bay, and that means Davante Adams.
I don't think so either. So I don't personally think, knowing what they looked like in the second round and how poorly they did in the second round of the playoffs last year, they need some upgrades. They're going to lose some people. I don't know if they're just going to run it back with a kind of a shell of their former team. So
you got a back-to-back NFL MVP basically at quarterback and a number one receiver. Like you don't break that up. I just do not see the Packers breaking that up. That's a GM. That's how GMs lose their job, is by like letting things like this, like right, like you have Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams, like generational talents. You lose that. That's how you lose your job as a GM. Even if you're like you're crunching numbers and you have a plan, you lose your job if you have one of the like arguably the dynamic duo in football. Like what's better than that? Maybe Burrow Chase, maybe Stafford Cup, right? Like there's, I'd still say it's Aaron Rodgers, Davante Adams, and he's got the MVPs to prove it, right? Like you do not break that up and keep your job in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean,
what a buzzkill, right? Like I could just imagine Davante Adams in silver and black.
It does make sense. I'd be hard. It would be really hard for me to imagine them not franchising Adams. I don't know what they would have to do to be. I don't know what the Packers would have to do otherwise, because the problem that you're going to see, if I was Aaron Rodgers, I would say, look, I'm not coming back until Davante Adams is back. Once Davante Adams is back, then I'll consider coming back.
Do you think Rodgers is thinking that way?
I think
he's
so.
thinking Adams first. I feel like Aaron is about Aaron, and like he obviously wants Davante Adams there, right?
Well, I think he's not going to come back with a bunch of slapdicks, dude. Dude, look, let's just put this out there, okay? The reason Tom Brady retired is because Tampa is going to be a lot shittier next year.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the guys that they signed on one-year deals to run it back-to-back Super Bowls, those guys are going to cash out, and those guys aren't going to be back. So that's the real reason Tom Brady retired. Okay,
I thought it was to spend more time with his family.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, he retired because he knows Tampa Bay is going to take a big dip, and their talent's going to take a huge dip because they're going to be in cap hell. They're not going to be able to keep a lot of their players. That's why. Let's just stop playing this little fucking game, because he saw the talent around him.
I just don't want to. If I can't give 100%, then I just don't want to play anymore.
Yeah,
that's why. That's why. It has nothing to do with me making sure that I'm always stockpiling the best possible players in football around me, and I won't play football unless that's the case.
I'm not shitting on the guy. If I'm that old, I want the best team around me, because I want to fucking win.
If you can LeBron your team, you should, right?
Yeah, I get it.
Power.
I get it. But the thing is Aaron Rodgers is thinking the same way. He's not going to be. He even said it himself. I don't want to be a part of a rebuild. Okay, so if he's going to come back, and I don't think Aaron Rodgers wants to come back and play with Juju Smith-Schuster or play with Allen Robinson. He wants to play with his guy.
How about this for just a thought exercise? We both agree Aaron Rodgers is probably staying in Green Bay. Let's say he doesn't. Let's say he goes to the Niners or goes to the Broncos or, oh God, that sounds terrible. Let's say he goes to Tampa Bay. Let's say he goes to Tampa Bay. What do you think the odds are the Raiders get Davante Adams if that's the case?
I think pretty good.
You think they're the number one contender to land him?
Yeah, I think so. I think if Aaron Rodgers comes back but to another team, I think it'll be pretty good, because then they'll be in full rebuild mode, and there'll be no reason really for them to keep him.
Yeah.
Why spend that much of a cap on one player that, I mean, it just doesn't make sense. I'm going to use that money to build a strong team around, my young quarterback, and spread that money out and get good players in a lot of other positions. That would make probably the most sense. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers on the Broncos is fucking scary, dude. I don't even want to think about that.
Imagine Derek Carr in Josh McDaniels' offense throwing to Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow, Davante Adams.
That's freaky, dude. That's freaky.